This is Paul from Market Square Heroes. Welcome to Pull Up a Chair with probably most infamous Matt Duggan of D2O.
D2O, indeed, right? Yeah.
Go on, explain D2O. When you write it down, it looks like D-I-I-O.
It was, I mean, there were several names banded around at the first bit, and I wanted to call it Last in Line, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
But there was rumours afoot, you know, a couple of years ago when we started, that there was already a band called Last in Line. Mm-hmm. So Russ, the guitarist, I think it was Russ, and the rest of the lads came up with D2O, and it was meant to be the Roman numeral 2, D2O. So, you know, I mean, because it looks like the actual Diio sort of font, just with the Roman. I thought, you know, that's kind of good, but then, you know, you get sort of your naysayers and, you know, people who don't mind it, but then you do get people saying, oh, why do you pronounce that, you know, what is it, and stuff like that. So yeah.
A good friend of mine turned around and said to me that there's a lot of tribute bands out there, and there's very few of us in the band, so we're all within each other, and D2O is a good one. Iron Maiden, Sabbath, Priest. How do you find the time to do, because High On are very popular, so where do you find the time to come up with another tribute?
I think over the years, I mean, Iron On is very popular and it's busy, but I think because you know, a couple of the guys in High On have got young families,
right? So,
you know, what tends to happen now is that we tend to sort of do sort of, you know, 2 or 3 shows together and then have a week off, and then the same thing. So it's sort of it's sort of, just by sort of natural course, if you like, it's sort of evenly spaced itself out, which I like as well, because it's, you know, and the guys in the D2O band all playing a Black Sabbath band called Black Sabbath, which I'm sure you've heard of.
Yeah.
And we've been friends for years and years and years, because obviously we play with Maiden and you know, a lot of other tribute bands sort of going around the country and abroad. But we always talked about, you know, because I'm a big Sabbath fan, but we always talked about, I was a huge Diio fan, and so were the rest of the guys.
Yeah.
And we always said, oh, you know, we should start a Diio tribute band. And you know, one thing led to another thing, and you, like you say, you know, how did you find the time? Well, we didn't. It took years and years and years, and then one day, I think it was when this sort of cycle of Maiden gigs has sort of had evened itself out, and I had space. The guy just said, you know, shall we actually do this? Shall we just get together and have a rehearsal and see what it's like? And we did, and it felt great. And you know, and we've been sort of going ever since. And luckily, because the other guys are in another tribute, it's got that space. You know what I mean? So it's not that it's not sort of one vying against the other, because all the other guys are busy with other sort of musical bits. One of the guys in Maiden as well has got his own band, which he writes all his own music for. So everybody's sort of fairly busy anyway. So it just by pure luck, it worked out really well. So yeah.
One thing I liked about you, going back to the Legends of Rock this year, you don't take yourself too seriously. I like the fact you went from the Ronnie voice to your Yorkshire accent and back again, and kind of played around with it. Was that deliberate? Because it's a different character than you do for High On.
I think for me, I mean, when I do High On, I don't know whether Bruce is an easier character to slip into because he's English, and Ronnie had that really deep, rich American accent. I mean, I'm a Yorkshireman, for Christ's sake, you know. And if you're doing an American accent, to me, unless you're acting or something like that, it just felt a little unnatural. And I wouldn't say all tribute bands. I'm not putting the kibosh on all tribute bands, but you do get certain ones, not many that I've seen, thankfully, that do take themselves too seriously. And at the end of the day, I've always taken the music very, very seriously. As soon as I open my mouth, as soon as the music starts, then that's, you have to be on your game. But the bit in between songs is what it says. It's a tribute. You're a tribute to you know, the band you're doing, and also you're there to entertain. And I sort of feel that the bit you can let the veneer down, if you like, and interact with the audience, then it makes them feel at ease, and it sort of breaks down that barrier of, you know, I don't know, so he thinks he's Mick Jagger or something. But that's, for me, just working. It's always, from the start with Diio, I was unconsciously I did that because I tried doing the Ronnie's speaking voice, and I think, to be honest with you, I don't think it's too bad. But then I just thought, oh, you know, so I just thought, you know, so I've just got into a routine now where I start talking in that sort of voice, that rich Ronnie voice, you know, very deep and rich and sounding Yakidar and all that stuff. And then I'll just sort of say Yorkshire, really. And it just seems to break the ice, as well as, you know, hopefully being 2 or 3 songs in before I get my mouth and speak. You know, it just helps sort of bridge that gap, really. With you just mentioning Maiden, I don't know. With Maiden, I've always managed to just keep in characters throughout, you know. And I think it's because Bruce is, you know, really, you know, sort of, he's got that English humour as well. It's easy to form that, whereas, you know, when you're doing a sort of different sort of country accent and stuff like that. So that's why I really.
I need to ask, why the wig?
Why the wig? Oh God.
That was a bold step.
Well, one, because I like many people have got a shaved head. Yeah. So and obviously Ronnie had long hair, but when we first started the Maiden band, we sort of went for the sort of classic Power Slave sort of look. And that's where I went for it. And I was actually teaching at a theatre school at the time. This is way back in very early 2000s. And one of the kids I was teaching his mum was a costume lady at ITV, one of the costume ladies. And I said, oh, you know, and I you know, we'd agreed that we were going to dress up like him because it's theatre as well. Yeah. You know, yeah. But I think you have to do that aspect to take it to that sort of tribute level, if you like. That's just my opinion. Yeah. And I gave her a picture of Bruce from, I think it was 1986 or something. I said, can you make that? Said, yeah, no problem. Yeah. And he came back, and it's the actual wig that I'm wearing for Diio at the moment. Now I know purists say, well, Ronnie's hair's not like that. You know, he had curly hair. Well, I just haven't got round to sort of getting I'm desperately trying to get a Ronnie wig, right? Or you know, a sort of wavy wig. Yeah. But I just haven't got round to it. And obviously Bruce has been, you know, with High On, there's loads of different. You can have the classic Bruce hair with the long and the fringe, or the short Bruce hair, or a woolly hat. He's done that many things over the years. Where Ronnie's quintessentially, he had that sort of Ronnie sort of fluffy curly hair, you know. So that's the reason. Just trying to go for that sort of classic Ronnie. Does that make sense?
Let's talk Legends of Rock. First time at Legends.
Yeah.
Brilliant reception.
Fantastic. Especially the time, you know, when you, to be honest, I can't remember what time it was. 1 o'clock. It was very early. Yeah. And obviously you were a couple of days in then, so even though it was on the Saturday, you first banded on. Great, that main room, the arena's fantastic. The sound guy's brilliant. Everything, it's great, but I sort of got there maybe 45 minutes before we were due to start. It's very empty, and it's not so much off-putting because you think, well, you know, you've got to, you know, people have got, they've never seen you before, they don't know who you are, or, you know, obviously they know you're a tribute to Diio, but they don't know what you sound like. And when we walked out for the first song, I absolutely couldn't believe it. I could not believe it's absolutely packed. And like you said, the reception was brilliant. Yeah. Absolutely. Couldn't wish for more. So thank you, Legends. Hopefully you'll have us back.
That was my next question.
Will we go back?
Well, will you go back?
Absolutely. Well, you've got to be asked. But yeah, I loved it. It's the first time that I've ever been. I was singing, but the first time I've ever been for the full weekend. Okay. So normally, usually because of gigs, we've been on the day we played and then stayed over. Yep. But this is the first time we went on the Thursday and we came home on the Monday. Right. So it's my first, you know, Legends experience as a punter, if you like, as well as playing, which was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. A number of bands I've seen that I've never, on the tribute scene, I've never seen before, that are just, you know, absolutely brilliant. I couldn't. I'm a huge Alice Cooper fan from my sins, right. And I've never seen Alice Cooper. I've heard a lot about him, but I've never seen him. I was absolutely wiped out. I couldn't believe the performance those guys put on musically, and obviously the stage was to get that up and ready in the time that you've got to get ready at Legends, because obviously things have changed around really quickly, was just mind-blowing. But then, as I say, credit to the stage guys and the organisers, but also credit the bands, you know, because I think there's a real sort of sense of camaraderie of that festival, and obviously the sister festival as well in Cyprus. But yeah, you know, if you'll have us back, we'd love to come back, please.
Personally, what does Matt Duggan listen to at home?
God. Do you know, a bit, there's not really much I don't listen to. I mean, I was sort of grew up through the sort of classic rock of the 70s, early 80s, new wave British heavy metal. But also, I'm a huge sort of fan of music in general. Do you know what I mean? No, there's not really much. I'm not the biggest dance music fan in the world, but then, you know, everybody's their own. But you know, there can be days I'll listen to, you know, really sort of heavy stuff like Slayer and Slipknot and stuff like that. And then there'll be days I'll be quite happy listening to Heart and Bon Jovi and stuff like that, or, you know, a lot of pop stuff in the 80s that I sort of grew up with, sort of poppy rock bands like Police and stuff like that. I still love all that stuff, you know. So if it's good, if it's got a good melody, you know, and it's not, shall we say, from the camp of bullshit that is reality television, and these talent shows, then if it's good, it's good. I really like it. So, you know, music's back motion, and if it creates an emotion and changes the way you feel, then that is where music sits for me.
So we could be back here in a little while seeing Matt Duggan and Sting.
No.
We never know.
Yeah, that's one thing. I'm not pretty enough, and I can't play the bass. But
Matt Duggan, hi on mate.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks for your time.
Just a bit of Paul for Market Square Heroes with Matt Duggan from D2O. We'll see you on the road.